My name is Matt Venable, and this is my story. Growing up, what people thought of me and the acceptance of others is what controlled my choices. I was influenced by what the world said was cool, and I found my self-worth by the acceptance of other people. From as long as I can remember, going to church every Wednesday and Sunday was non-negotiable. My parents did a great job to show us the importance of God, but it wasn't until later in life that I learned the importance of a relationship with God. Because I always would seek approval from other people, I could never find my true identity. And that happened from since I was a little kid to even to when I was a young adult. I got kicked out of 5th grade for bringing an airsoft BB gun to school, all because I was trying to be cool. And then again in the middle school for bad behavior because I was trying to seek the approval from other people. And if that wasn't enough, my senior year, I was projected to win the state championship for wrestling. I never made it because once again, I got kicked out of school for seeking the approval from other people. And while I was in college, I began to drink and party way too much. It's like I became an alcoholic. I started to abuse prescription drugs. My life was spiraling out of control. I got locked up in county jail for multiple occasions for the stupidest reasons. For fake IDs, public intoxication, DUI, and shoplifting. All stupid. In the midst of all the chaos, out of desperation, I cried out to God to take away drinking. I said, even if that meant going to jail. Well, be careful what you pray for, because 2 days later, I was arrested for public intoxication. And if arrested while on probation, it's considered a violation of probation, which means you get no bond. You must appear in court. Well, this particular time, the jail was crowded, and the only thing that was available was maximum security, which was 21-hour lockdown. It means I was having to be locked up in a cell with 3 other people in a 10-by-13 cell for 21 hours a day with 1 toilet, with 1 sink, and that's it. I was scared. I was alone. I didn't know what to do, where to go, or what my future was like. It was scary. And I was sitting there thinking, what am I doing? What life am I living? And where is this going to take me? What does my future hold? Richard Tate was one of my cellmates. He was a black young man who was in there for the stupidest reasons, getting in a fight for someone stepping on his shoe. And it was his love for Jesus that was so attractive. It was like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Authentic. This was no jailhouse religion that I was witnessing. This was the real deal. He had what I wanted, and that was Jesus. His mom had just recently passed away, so he was struggling and hurt. But his love for Jesus never failed. His testimony and his relationship with Christ was something that I yearned for, that I never knew about, that I never got to experience myself. And during that time, I blindly opened the Bible and I put my finger right there on the middle of a page and I said, God, if there's something you want to show me, show me. And as I began to read the letters or the words that were on the page, it was as if those were the only words on the page. It was Ephesians 5:18. Do not get drunk with wine, for that is debauchery, but be filled with the Spirit. It was like a hit right in the heart. And I knew that God was speaking to me, because if you think back, when I had prayed for God to help me to take away drinking, and I'm asking for him to show me something, it's like he was speaking directly to me. Stop drinking. It was as if a light bulb went off and I could finally see and know the importance of a relationship with Christ and not just knowing who he is. And I could finally see how beautiful life is. And I could even see how I was ruining my life and how I was running away from God and not towards him. And believe it or not, the 21-hour lockdown was exactly what I needed. God knew that I couldn't sit still for long enough or quiet enough to hear him. And after being in jail for the first 30 days, I would consider that the best days of my life. Because it was on day 36 that undoubtedly the Holy Spirit entered my soul. At 4 a.m., an announcement came on, and they called for Richard Tate to pack his stuff. He was going home. He didn't have to go to court. His charges were dropped. And I knew then, undoubtedly, that I was there specifically to meet Richard Tate and to get to know Jesus. And it was 3 days later that I went before the judge. He took a good look at me and said, listen, I know you're going to be somebody. Don't ever appear in my courtroom again. And he dropped all charges. And on the very next day, which is day 40, 40 days, I was released. I was able to go home. No charges, no nothing. And since that day, my life was forever changed. My mind renewed. The last 15 years has been an incredible journey, a humbling one. The Lord has blessed me with a beautiful wife, Taylor, and 2 beautiful kids, Aiden and Ava. Do I still struggle? Do I still have temptation? You bet I do. And when I do, it's God's grace that reminds me, we don't do this anymore. And constantly seeking other people's approval, it's exhausting. And if I'm honest, it still can be exhausting at times. And I don't have to do that anymore because now I know my true identity. He is my Father. I am His child, His son, which gives me peace, joy, and an indescribable hope that can only be found in Jesus Christ.